we're dealing with vertical and horizontal asymptotes. And vertical and horizontal asymptotes are limits at infinity. They're in behavior. So that says a horizontal asymptote, y equal b, is called a horizontal asymptote of the graph y equals f of x if the limit as x goes to negative infinity is a constant, or the limit as x goes to positive infinity is a constant. There are functions, and if you were to take trigonometry in particular, that things that we don't deal with too much here, that basically can have different, can have more than one horizontal asymptote. It could have a horizontal asymptote that as x goes to infinity and a different one as x goes to negative infinity. One I can think of looks something like this. I think that's one of the inverse trigonometric functions. So it can have different asymptotes as you go to plus and minus infinity. But we don't worry too much about that here, because after all, this is brief calculus. And we deal primarily with polynomials and other things that don't have too many bad things attached to it. It says, and remember, as we're going limits at infinity, it's that old model, the idea of the end behavior model, where you take the quotient of the highest powers. So now what I want to find, do I have an HA? Well, my model is 3x squared over x squared. By the way, you can do the typical calculus trick, which is divide both numerator and denominator by the highest power between the two, which is x squared, then take the limit. To me, that's too much work. You end up in the same place, because all the other guys go to 0. So this is 3. It's a constant. So if I take the limit as x goes to infinity of 3, what do I get? What do I get? 3. Why do I don't get infinity? What is 3? A constant. Do constants change? No. If they did, they would not be called a constant. They would be called a variable. Because variables change, constants don't. He has no x's. And that would be true of the same thing if I took the limit as x goes to negative infinity of 3. It's also 3. What this says is that I have an HA at y equal 3. Horizontal asymptote 3. Why in the world did I get 0? Said 3, wrote 0. Doesn't make any sense, does it? They're y equals, because they're horizontal lines. Part of algebra, which we now put a calculus bend to it. Here's the other guy. And again, we're going to limits at infinity, so we're far away from 3, the hole in the graph. We're far away from 0, or negative 3, the hole in the graph, and x equals 0, the VA, because I'm going to infinity. So I don't care what's happening in that middle part. I'm care about what's happening toward the end. So that says my model is going to be x squared over x squared, which is 1. What do I know right away, without even taking the limit? It's a constant, and what does that mean? It is a horizontal asymptote, because I take the limit as x goes to infinity of 1, it's 1. I take the limit as x goes to negative infinity of 1, it's also 1. So if I have a constant, that is the HA. That's what we tell you in college algebra. so that there is an HA at y equal 1.